darling Fumi Nation, how are you? How are we? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you're so very welcome indeed. Are we living and loving the fit? This, my darling, is by Beautiful Mobile Boutique. I guess I should get up so that you can see the entire glamour. I live for it. It's just so blowy and flowy. I love the print. You know me and an animal print. I'll go for it any day. It just works with the big beautiful bowy sleeves. So this is what we're doing today. I live for it. Gorgeousness. And I just put a belt in it, animal print belt, just to give it the extra. What do we think, my darlings? All right, so Jada Pinkett Smith has announced that herself and Will have actually been living very separate lives since 2016. I will say this. I am really enjoying this phase where a lot of celebrities are just breaking up. And when I say that, I don't mean that I am happy for them that they're breaking up. I am happy that a lot of people that felt about celebrity marriages are beginning to realize that things are quite different from what they thought. Because there is nothing really like couple goals. There's nothing like couple goals. Oh, you know what, Jada and Will, I love the way they act together. I love this couple. I love that couple. Marriage is work. It doesn't matter whether you've got money. It doesn't matter whether you're a celebrity. It doesn't matter whatever they portray on the outside. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. And this is a flawless example of it, because she has gone on to interviews where she was asked, oh, how do you keep your 23-year-old marriage going? And she had no words. We did not know it at the time, but she was unable to express because she was living a lie and she was living separately from Will. Do I really think that they owed us an explanation? No. No, it's because they're celebrities, they're in the spotlight, and we put them on pedestals that they are better and bigger than anything else. No, they just happen to have more money and they happen to be internationally known. That is it. That's it. To idolize a celebrity is the wrong way to go. Idolize your teacher. Idolize your engineering teachers, history teachers. Idolize firemen. Idolize other people, but don't idolize celebrities, because they don't even need or want it either. There's so much pressure on them to be perfect when they are not. We know that Jada had the Red Table Talk show, which has been cancelled. I think it was on Facebook, and it did very, 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 very well indeed. And so there she was with Will, and they talked about their relationship, so to speak. They talked about bits and parts of their relationship, and they talked about her having an entanglement with August. And I didn't think it was necessary for you to share, Jada. You go ahead and do your thing. You don't owe us anything to explain why you're having a relationship outside of your relationship. But it was odd for me having a son, to have a relationship with my son's friend at the same age. It's just icky to me, and it's uncomfortable for my son. But I can't judge. I don't know the dynamics of it. We don't know the dynamics of anything, because it's all coming to play now. Hence the slap. Now I understand, perhaps it wasn't about the bald head. Perhaps it was the fact that there was a rumor going on that Jada and Will had broken up. And guess what? Chris Rock now calls Jada to say, are you okay, baby? Would you like to go out with me? That tells me right there and then they're not friends. They're not in that close-knit, tight circle where Chris would have known that it was a rumor. On top of which, they really were not close, because I can't see how you'd be so close to Will that you would have the effrontery to go ahead now and come and date your friend's wife. Think about it. And perhaps Will and Jada talked like husband and wife do. And she mentioned it. And Will said, is that a fact? And so it must have triggered him. As soon as they said bald head, he said, you know what? This MF right here is really trying me. And he forgot where he was at the Oscars and went up there and said, you've been owed this slap. I'll give it to you here and now. On the day when he should have been centered on the Academy Award that he won. Every marriage is unique to itself. And just because they're separated for all these years and they're not divorced does not mean anything. And you know you've got friends that are not really getting along, but they're still there. Do they owe us an explanation? No. So why do these two owe us an explanation? They don't. She's coming out with a book. She no longer has a show. Is it about money? I don't think so. I think they've got more than enough money. I think that they've got so much money that it's better to make more money married than for them to be divorced. That's what I think. At the end of the day, is it that intense? Is it that serious? I don't think so. Their children are grown. It's not as if to say she's staying for the kids. She doesn't even need the child support. Again, the children are older. So, you know, she says to herself, why would I when we're still making money through our businesses, our brands together? Doesn't mean anything. Also, it could be a situation where she's tired of telling lies. And she's tired of living under this facade of a perfect marriage when most of it was not. And her heart belonged to Tupac. Again, I don't understand. You loved a man that was in the streets like you. And he did not think of you as much as you might have thought, because he lived in the streets and lived by the streets. Again, it's the fantasy of what could have been. Tupac could be here and you guys just might not be talking. Nothing is by mistake, guys. And I give this advice to JADA. You crying all over the place about Tupac, oh, he was this, and our relationship. It's only you I've heard talk about this ever. Because you and I are the same age-ish. So we came from the same neck of the woods. Tupac never hollered your name the way you've been hollering his name all these years. And I don't think he would have if he was still here. Get a grip. And that's why you said you can see a little bit of Tupac in August. Really? Those that are dead, let them lie. There are a million reasons why relationships don't get along. I think what I'm just here to say, sister to sister, is this advice. Heal whatever you have on the inside. Don't take it like a handbag into a relationship that is unrelated to your past. Because you relive everything and everybody suffers, including you. Marriage is not Instagram. It's not Snapchat, YouTube. It's not red carpet. That's another thing. Have you noticed? Couples will come onto the red carpet and that is where they place a kiss. For the cameras only. Because I don't see why you didn't get down and dirty at home. You don't have to kiss for everybody for a show. Because majority of the time, it's a show for everybody else. And you are empty inside. And so when you go back home, he goes to the left, you go to the right. And you don't see each other for weeks on end. You're lying to who? You're lying to yourself. Because nobody else really matters. I know someone, oh, I want to get married. Oh, I want to this, I want to that. Darling, listen to me. Stay positive, stay happy. Instead of you talking about want to get married, get ready. Make sure that your credit is in check. Make sure that your career is in check. Make sure you're looking hot, steaming, sexy. Yes. Make sure that you really detox and cleanse mentally, emotionally, physically before you walk down the aisle, because there are other issues that are going to come into the marriage that if the foundation is not strong, it will not survive. I'll tell you that right now. There are things that you cannot foresee. You think it's just a pretty ring and it's the honeymoon and it's the wedding and it's the showers and all of these things. Those are celebrations. But the work is going to be a step and repeat on an everyday. Be prepared for that. Don't look at celebrities and people that are out there that are talking about relationships and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. For all the conversations that JADA had at the Red Table Talk, all the conversations, she wasn't even staying with her man. How about that? Very bizarre. All of the conversations with her mom, with her daughter, they sat down there in the lie, in the facade, giving out advice. Entertaining, yes, but I didn't need it. Come to find out that you're struggling, and that's okay to struggle. Had you come and said, Will and I are struggling, and by 2016 we were just exhausted, we just didn't want to do it no more, there was no point. Is she doing it for the book? I don't know. And she calls the book worthy. And I think it's very apropos because perhaps now she feels worthy. She feels that it's so important that she gets and appreciates and has self-worth. That she has self-worth. That she has to really love herself. That she, all these years, was loving on other people, was people pleasing, and she just did not feel worthy. And now, perhaps she does. Congratulations. Congratulations to you, JADA. I know what it is to carry a lie. And I know what it is to finally let it go, to just let it go. It's so heavy. And I don't judge you at all. You and Will was you and Will. And you and Will did what you could do in the marriage, and you did it for as long as you could. And might I add, congratulations. Congratulations for going as long as you could. For doing as much as you did for your children. That speaks volumes. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I know. I'm lucky. I really do think I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have a happy marriage. But I wasn't married for a long time. I think I've told you guys, from 30 to 40, I abstained from any kind of sexual activity, not even a kiss. I detoxed because I had to find my worth. Because the relationships I was having were destructive. And I couldn't find myself. And one day I said, Fumi, this is too much. And I found that I was weak. If I was sexually entangled with you, I couldn't see past you. And so I would forgive all of your mistakes, your cheating, your lying, all of that. And I said, it has to stop for me. Because you know what? You're just depleting in every way. And it was affecting my work. It was affecting everything about me. So I didn't. And I got stronger. And I got cleaner. In every way, I felt clean on the inside and outside. I became closer to my God, and I began to really work. And I went and studied a master's program at UCLA, which I loved and finished. And I got my credit together. I paid off my car. And I moved out of a studio to a one-bedroom of which I was about to buy when I met Ula. And I told Ula straight up a couple of things. I'm not sleeping with you. Who are you? Who are your people? What do you earn? What kind of job do you do? And this is who I am. This is my past. This is what I've done. What have you done? And these are my deal breakers. And I'm not going to negotiate on them because I know that I'll be only saying that to please you. And as much as I like what I see, I'm not going down that rabbit hole for you. He looked at me as if to say, and I said, yeah. Because by the time I had hit about 7 years abstinence, I didn't even want to sleep with anybody because I felt so pure. I didn't want to stain it with anything or anyone, mentally, physically, emotionally. I didn't. You had to come correct. And I was willing to not even have a marriage. If it meant that I stayed like this, the way I was, I would rather that. Because I had healed and I had gone down that rabbit hole and talked about relationships that really, really destroyed me. And I had to heal from that. I really did. When I read in the comment section, some girls that say, I don't want to get married. I never want to have children. I am so proud of you. I am proud of you that you know what you want. Because if you go and do it for any other reason than you're running into trouble. JADA said it. She cried on the day of her wedding. She said that when herself and Will made love, that particular encounter, she knew she was pregnant. And she didn't want to get married. Her mother insisted upon it. That was why she got married. But she didn't want to get married. You do things that you don't want to do, and you think it will fix itself. It never does. It only breaks you. And it builds resentment. And you get angry at the wrong person for the wrong reasons. Because we are not brave enough, not big enough, brave enough to really look at the person in the mirror and start with them. Translation, you. Don't do it, my darlings. Because you see all of these relationships where they are breaking up left and right. It has nothing to do with celebrity. It has nothing to do with money. Money is nice. Don't get me wrong. Money is nice. But can you imagine how depressing it is to have money and still have problems? I am just waiting for J-Lo to come out here talking about she's going to break up with Ben. Then I'll be like, aha. Aha. The celebrities, end of. Don't idolize their relationships. They are on pedestals of which we've put them on to be flawlessly perfect. When in actual fact, we are all flawed. And they're frightened and they're scared, and the judgment and the stones that will be thrown at them, and they will be told this and that. No. JADA owes us no explanation. And I will never judge her. It's a marriage. It's a very tough call. And I think, again, like I said, I am luckier because I married at 40. A lot of people marry in their 20s. They've got at least a healthy 15 years in. 15 years in, you become a different person. It's a different circumstances, children, careers, maturity. Things change. And sometimes it changes too far to the other side of the spectrum where you just cannot change back. And you sit back to yourself, and that's when you realize that, you know what? 40 is not that old. Because you see, when you're 25, you think 40 is old. When you get to your 50s, you realize, you know what? I still got a life. 50 is really not that old. You get to your 60s, and you're like, you know what? 60 is not that old. I can still go to college. I had a beautiful young lady of 77 ask me a question, of which I read. And it really did occur to me, girl, there are people out here that are 107. You just might be here another 30 years. Marry him. Age is just a number. But the mental imprisonment that we put upon ourselves is what will age us faster than anything else. That's all I got to say on the matter. I don't need to go into any kind of detail or whatever. She will be doing her book tour. And of course, they had to release something juicy, something shocking for everybody to pay attention. Am I surprised? No, I am not. I lived in Hollywood. I lived in Cali, and I saw it firsthand. And there were always rumors about Will and JADA. And to be fair, there were always rumors about everybody. Everybody was being talked about because you have the staff, you have the drivers, you have the cooks. People are talking to the magazines here, there, everywhere. It wasn't new news. It's not new news, actually. And I say that because we, for whatever reason, society, we're in that dear need for perfection. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Marriages have their ups and downs. Ula and I, we have our ups and downs. Yes, we do. But we have come to a very healthy mental position where there's no ego, there's no anger issues, there's no malice, there's no history, there's no baggage. And so we're able to express ourselves and say we didn't like this, we didn't like that. Nip it in the bud, keep it moving. That's what we do. And it's healthy. And that's why I say go to therapy if you want to save a marriage. The two of you. But if you don't, girl, you have to figure it out and walk. I don't agree to it because I feel that a family should stay together for the children. But if that environment is toxic, then it's worse to stay than to go. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, my darlings, and I will see you I'll see you sooner than later. All of my love.